What do I gotta do over here? I think I got it. Alright. Alright. Should I just talk about it? I feel awkward talking about it with you here. I feel like dummy. Are you gonna laugh at me? You think it's okay if I just start like explaining, you know? I'm nervous. Yeah, but I'm nervous. Would you be proud of me? Would you watch it and tell me what you think about the video? I'm very nervous. I don't know what to do. I don't even know if I should do this or if I just look so dumb. Okay. Fine. I don't like this. I feel super awkward. Okay, gonna do it. Gonna start streaming right now. Yeah, I love you. Well, right now I'm just gonna start doing a special video for one of my friends that gave me a really nice subscription, a really nice follow, and she basically just asked me about our options and how to get from moving slow and steady to get to a little bit better movement. But before all of that, I'm gonna start just talking about the options and what all the options mean and what can you do with all your options. Sometimes, and a lot of people already know this, but anybody that is just starting to play the game really don't know what to expect from it, and you know what every part of the options mean, how to get tactical sprint on, how to where to set your sensitivity, and basically what they mean. So I'm gonna just go to my options right now. And I'm gonna start explaining every single thing that it's in here. If you want to copy mine, I wouldn't recommend that because this is what I feel comfortable with, but anybody, you know, can feel comfortable with anything else. So I'm just gonna be explaining for anybody that is just starting to play the game what everything in here means. So we're gonna start with button layout preset, and basically with here you can just choose whatever you feel more comfortable with. Of course, anybody that is just starting to play the game is just gonna start with default. Of course, you can flip it and you can have different controllers. I have mine flipped, which means that instead of shooting with R2 and aim with L2, you just switch those to the upper L1 and R1. So you can just do that. That's a flip. That's what that means. If you don't want it flipped, this is the normal one, the default, tactical, lefty. All of these ones are what you feel more comfortable with. You can change that if you feel like. But basically, everybody starts with default. A lot of people like tactical, and I like bumper jumper tactical, and I like them flipped. So that's all the buttons on the right there. If you ever want to check that out, if you are on default and you feel more comfortable with that, this is the most basic layout that you can use. It's not bad, and a lot of people do like it, so you can stay on that. Then you get the stick layout. So this is basically how do you want your arrows to look like and what to do, I would just leave that on default. It's the easiest thing to do unless you really want to change it and you like something else, but I think getting used to this is the best. I've never changed it, I stay in that. Inverter, this is basically if you want just the inverted log, so you would, try to look up and it will be down and down will be up. That's kind of confusing for me, but a lot of people like that. I'll just disable that so that way I don't have to, worry about up and down and up and all that good stuff. Dead zone, this is for your controller, so sometimes if your controller doesn't have any dead zone, you will notice that it drifts. So I'm not moving any of my sticks or anything like that, but you can see my arrows moving, and that should not happen. So if that's happening to your controller, what you do is you go to options and you increase the dead zone. I have mine into 5 and it stops. It doesn't do that little weird, moving to the sides where it shouldn't. It stays in the center, so that way when you're aiming at someone, it's not going like crazy to the right and the person is right there. If your controller does that, this is a way to fix it. Just go to options, you use dead zone. You can go higher if it moves more, but I wouldn't recommend go higher than 9 or 10. That would hurt your mobility and everything a lot, because you will take a long time to be able to move your analog. I would recommend that 5. That's what works for me. It's a newer controller, so that's why I can do it. If you have to go higher than that, I would recommend you to get a new controller, but you don't have to do that. You can just go as high as you need to. As I said, bigger than 9, 10. It's just not practical, so I leave mine in 5. Horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical. This is basically how fast you turn. I like mine to be slower, so that way when you're aiming, it's not going crazy. If you take that all the way high, which some people do like, I would not recommend anybody, especially just starting the game, to do that, because it moves too crazy. It's way too fast, and you gotta get used to that. And then if someone is behind you or in front of you, you wouldn't be able to see anything. It's just way too fast. I used to play mine in 13. I used to like that before, but I just find myself to be more accurate. The lower that you have your sensitivity in your sticks, I think you get just the more precision when you're aiming, and the more you can see around the map. When you're too fast, sometimes you will be running right here and you're moving so fast, there's a guy over here, you don't see it because you're moving like crazy. But when your sensitivity is low enough, you can turn, you can recognize things. It's not too fast for nobody, so you can do that. You can do all of that good stuff. That's what that is. That's what that is about. So I leave my sensitivity in 5. Some people like 6 and 7. I think that's all those 3 are good. Especially if you're just starting the game, I will just stay in lower sensitivities. I would not mess with this. If you're just starting the game, I would not mess with this, because this basically means when you're aiming a gun with iron sights, no sights, just iron sights, that means it's lower when you're aiming. So that way you can stay. I use it lower so I can stay on target more. That's what I do. If you're just starting in the game, I would not mess with any of these, because they can mess you up real bad. So just stay on 1.00, 1.00 in both of them. I use dynamic here as far as my aim response curve time. So basically what this means is, with the standard one, it's a simple power curve map from aim stick to aim rate. So this is kind of complicated area. If you want me to make a video on more specific on this, I can, but this basically means when you're moving your analog to the sides, dynamic, what dynamic does is it stays slower. So when I'm aiming from here to there, the stronger I move my analog to the sides, to the right or to the left, it would not go just boom and turn to the other side right away. It would take time, and then it will get to the sensitivity that I have. So it will start slow and then it will go to 5. Go, right there, it will start slow and then go to 5. The stronger that you move your analog to the right or to the left is as fast as the dynamic is gonna bring it. Linear, on the other hand, this one means that you won't have a delay on how strong you press your analog. So if you're turning right, it was just gonna straight go to right, no slowing down. I personally think that's better for a starting player because you can get used to just, you know, going without waiting. If you're trying to follow someone running this way, you don't have to slow and then go fast. You can just turn and hit him. But if you really like the way I move it, if you think that you can just get used to starting slow and then fast, or the stronger you press your analog, the faster it goes, then just stay in dynamic. It works perfect for me. I like it. I changed to linear for a while and I hate it, especially for sniping. Honestly, it was just not my cup of tea. That's opinion though. If you like it, you can stay on linear. I would recommend just dynamic for anybody, especially if you're starting. I think you can get used to it. It's not that hard. I got my controller vibration all the way off because I don't like when I'm fighting someone and then I get shot. My controller vibrates and I get scared sometimes. I just jump scare and I don't like that. I think I can stay more in target when I'm not getting all this tension from the vibration, so I just turn that off. Aim assist. We have different options here. We have standard, precision, and focusing. So what standard means is you get aim assist, you know, that sticky aim assist, when you're moving side to side and aiming, right? So you have to move both of your analogs, your direction and your camera, to get aim assist, right? So you have to do this. And it's a rotational aim assist. So if someone is coming, jumping from here, jumping over here, what aim assist does is if you're just aiming here and trying to do this, it won't work. You won't get any sticky aim assist. So what you have to do is you have to rotate to them. You have to move your legs and you have to move your camera for that aim assist to kick in. What precision does and focusing does, as I said, this is more complicated thing, so I could explain more about it, but the basic idea of precision and focusing is if you have focusing, what it does is if you're standing still and you're aiming, you will get more sticky aiming. If that person is just sitting there, you know, just standing right in front of you, and you're not moving at all, when you aim, it will stick and then keep on moving, stick and keep on moving, stick and keep on moving. But if you are moving your legs and you're trying to do this, you won't get any aim assist. Not like standard. Standard is rotational. This one is just when you're standing still. For a starter player, I would recommend precision and focusing, because, you know, when I'm playing, I'm always trying to move, you know, to the sides. I'm bunny humping or whatever, trying to move. But for someone who's starting the game, you're normally standing still and you want to get those, you know, headshots or something. You want to shoot someone, and then you want that sticky aim to stay on the target. So I would recommend focusing and precision if you're just starting the game, and then after you get used to that and you start moving more and you start, you know, looking and going around, which is the main idea of this game, then you can change it to standard. Standard is the best for people that move. If you're not moving, you're very standing still, just starting the game, you move very slow, you don't, you know, tactical sprint or move to the sides when you shoot. You basically just use precision and aim assist. Hey, Isaka La Caca says, hi, Master. What is up? We got one follower just watching the stream. We're going to make this a video too, though. We're going to put this in YouTube for anybody that's starting the game. I don't see too many of these videos anymore because everybody already knows about the game. You know, they've been playing it for years. They already know what standard and focusing, precision means. But I do have a lot of friends that are just starting to play the game, and you know, they don't know what any of this means. So that's why I'm doing this video. As I said, aim assist. If you're just starting, I would just precision or focusing. Focusing is the stronger one for, you know, sticky aim. Precision is all right. You can just go either or, doesn't matter. And then any of these, I would not mess with. I would not mess with weapon mount. I would not mess with aim downside behavior. I would not mess with steady aim behavior. This is all like very technical stuff. You just don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. These equipment behavior is the one that I changed because when I play Warzone, I like picking stuff up real quick. Now this is not a multiplayer thing. I'll have to actually be in Warzone to show this. But basically, when you're going around, you know, picking armor, bullets and stuff, instead of me pressing long square, you know, I just press 1 and I pick up something. And then for reloading, I keep on pressing my square button. I like that one just because you can loot way faster. You don't have to be waiting until you're pressing square and picking something up. You can just press it once and pick whatever is down. If you're not close to bullets, if you're not close to a gun, it would reload. But the focusing is on picking stuff up and, you know, all that good stuff. So for Warzone, I would recommend for you to just change this to hold, to toggle. You know, whether you like it, whether you like it hold, whether you like it, whatever you get used to. But in my perspective, I just like picking stuff up real quick. So you have, you know, toggle, you have hold. In this one I have hold, but in this one is contextual tap. And then this is the one that you wanna change for Warzone. This is the one you wanna. This is gonna help you to just press square once and pick whatever you need, or if you're used to hold it, just, you know, tap to reload, tap to use, or contextual tap. This is the one I changed. As I said, you can, you know, copy whatever I have. If you feel comfortable with it. If you don't feel comfortable with it, just go with whatever you like. I would recommend that just to loot faster, but it's a matter of, you know, opinion there. Depleted ammo, weapon switch, I don't have any changes there. And then we go into movement, slide movement. I have tap. Some people have it hold, but I would not recommend that. This basically means when you're running around, you press R3 to slide. Well, in my controllers, you press R3 to slide. In default options in the layout, some people just press circle, which I hit with circle, but some people you know, they slide with a circle. Instead of holding circle to be able to do this, to slide on the floor, I have it on, you know, instead of hold, I have on right here, I have it on tap, because that way I just press it once and that's it. I slide. I don't have to keep on holding R3 to slide. I just press it once and it slide, and I can do something else. You know, I can jump. It will keep on sliding. You know, and you don't have to be holding it all the time, which is kind of nice. I like that. If you prefer to hold it, that's fine. But I think you will wear your buttons down doing that a lot. So I'll just try to change it and try to get used to tap. Auto movement forward, I don't have anything different there. Automatic sprint, this is very important for Warzone. For multiplayer, I would just disable it or just automatic sprint. So when you have it disabled, you move, you don't run with the gun up. Tactical sprint, you will have to press L3 2 times to be able to raise your hand. It's just once to run, twice to tactical sprint, and then it will stop doing it for a while. But for movement, you move like this. It's the slowest way to move. For multiplayer, it's not too bad because you can react ADS, shoot people faster. But when you're tactical sprinting, you know how it takes a little bit more. It's not too much, but it takes a little bit more to aim, a little bit more to respond when you're tactical sprinting. If someone just, you know, you're tactical sprinting, someone just jumps there, you know, you have to aim, look for them, and shoot. But if you don't have it on and you're just moving normal, whenever you want a tactical sprint, you know you tactical sprint, you can stop, you can just walk normal, side to side, and it won't do it by itself. That's what disabling would do. Automatic sprint would just help it with your running, not raising your gun, just run. That way you can, you know, it's still a little bit faster. This is pretty good for multiplayer if you already know a little bit about the game and you can handle yourself in front of people, react. This is pretty good. For sniping is really good because you move fast, but you don't move as fast that you cannot aim downside. You know, you can slide and keep on sliding. You know, it's not bad. But the fastest movement, and this is for Warzone, I would say for Warzone only, automatic tactical sprint is great because you can use this and it would raise, you know, your hand. This is the fastest way to move with your gun up. You put your gun up, that's the fastest way to move. The problem is if you have someone right in front, it will take you longer than just raising, you know, when you're just walking, just raising your hand, your gun. When you have it up, you have to wait until the animation goes on and then you shoot. So that could take a while, but that's the fastest way to move on tactical sprint. This is perfect for Warzone. For multiplayer, I would just recommend you to do automatic sprint. Don't mess with this if you don't feel comfortable, if you want to engage faster. But that's what I got. Vehicle camera, I just have it like that. And parachute out of the play. Okay, again, this is Warzone stuff. A lot of people, you gotta get to the ground, and you're not used to. If you forget how to open your parachute and you disable this, you're gonna just break your legs and you're gonna die. So I will leave it enabled if you're just starting to play the game to get used to it. I've been playing the game for a while and I still have it enabled because sometimes I just forget. I like it, but the fastest way that you can get to the ground is if you disable this and you just press it whenever you want to press it, and not whenever whenever you get close to the ground and it presses by itself. This is the fastest way to get to the ground. If you want to pick up a helicopter or something, you want to be faster than anybody else, this is the fastest way to do it. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable like that. I don't think I'm that good of a player to do that. I'll probably forget, especially because I've used this since day one, so I would just leave it enabled. General, of course, if you have keyboard and mouse, we'll have a different setup there, but I use controller and I stay in my PS5, so that's what I do. Safe area. A lot of people, I like mine all the way up, but the recommended thing is to not have it all the way covering your screen. The smaller you can have it, the better, because everything is gonna be closer together. Your UAV is gonna be closer together. Your options, your enemies, everything is gonna be close. You don't have to look to the whole screen to be able to see everything. So some people like it small, some people just like it big. I leave mine almost big, but whatever you prefer. It does, look a little weird when you have a big TV and then a really small camera thing, but some people like that. You also have the film grain. What this means is basically it helps with how the game looks. So if you have it up, I would recommend this to just be 0. You don't want to be looking at ugly, textures. You can see it on the pictures on the right. So one looks kind of blurry, the other one doesn't. You want the best looking game that you can get from, So I would just, I would just turn it off. Tip lips, I honestly don't even know what this is, so I'm just not gonna mess with that. I disable my subtitles. Colorblind, I use this one because I just like the colors. I think it helps with how my game looks. As you can see here, it's kind of like, the colors are kind of dead. If you put this one just makes everything yellow and kind of ugly. I do not like that. It just emphasizes this kind of color to me. This one I think is the most colorful one. This one kind of makes it look like it's, like afternoon all the time. I don't really like that kind of orange, kind of red looking. If you like that, that's great. I like this one especially for the new Warzone map. This one, the colors look they just look great because it's more bright, it's more colorful. You just gotta get used to. The enemies won't be on red anymore, so you just gotta get used to that. But besides that, I don't think it's a problem. Colorblind Target, I just got it both. World motion blur. This one is something you also want to disable. As you see in the pictures on the right, you can see blurry. Then on the left one, you don't see any blur. You for sure not want to have any blur when you're turning around, so that way you can see the whole game. If someone is camping or something, it's not gonna be blurry when you're turning, and it's just gonna look like a box. You can just recognize what's happening, react. So that's what I would do. So then you have world, motion blur. I would just disable that. And weapon blur, same thing. I think the game is pretty good. I think it looks great. I would not want to see my gun all blurry. Sometimes, you have a blueprint, you shoot that, and you don't want to see when you move that animation. This looks blurry, I think it looks great. I think you should keep it. I would disable that. Honestly, this is just streaming, textures and stuff like that. I wouldn't mess with any of this stuff if you're not streaming. Again, this is a Warzone thing. Also multiplayer. I guess you can use this in multiplayer, but always have it in square. You can see that it gives you like 25% more of a map, or even more. If so, on the corners you can see way more with the square one. The circle one is very limited, and if you have a UAV or you're running around enemies, you for sure want to have the most information about them. So, as I said, I would just leave it in square. That's the best thing. I don't mess with minimap rotation or compass numbers and stuff. I don't really care for that. This is just text stuff, so you don't need to worry about any of these. Text chat and all of this stuff I just leave alone. And if you have like me, is you have PS5 or a really high quality console like a Pro, PS4 Pro or an Xbox that can handle this, and the TV has an HDR brightness, it will be compatible. You will be able to change your brightness here, and then you have the Hdr calibration. I don't know if any of my streamers of people that watch me have this HDR calibration. If you don't have this, you have a brightness one. It doesn't work like this. So the HDR calibration, the one that says very visible, you want to have it very visible. The more very visible is going to be the best, because that's how your TV is going to read that color. So if you have it all the way up, those black colors are actually not going to be visible. It's going to be darker, or it's going to be looking weirder. So you want to have it in very visible. It's the best way for your TV. As I said, not all TV support that. And the white, same thing. The very visible has to be very, very visible. Again, that's the way that your TV is going to read this color. So you want to stay on very visible. You don't want to try to put this way too high or way too low. You're also not going to enjoy the way the game looks, because it's going to look all super bright or super dark. You don't want to mess with any of that. Just leave it in very visible, and just work with that. And that's calibration. The audio, it works different for everyone. My headset works better with boost low. Some people like boost high. A lot of people work on boost high, but I feel like boost low gets my footsteps the most. And I think that's, because I play Warzone, I think that's the most important thing, to just have the footsteps. That I want to hear it. Master volume, this is basically everything around it. The guns, UAVs, people walking around you, all the effects of the game. That's what that is. That's what the master volume, controls. Music volume, I just have it in 2. I don't really like hearing the music or, anything else in the background. I want to focus on the details and, who's pushing me. Dialogue, I just put it to 20. If I have an enemy dropping in Warzone, I will hear that. But I don't want I don't want the guy to shout in my ear and just get scared from that. I can hear it very good with 20. If this is too low for you, you can just higher it. But I wouldn't have it in 100. I would just have it lowered. The effects, as I said, is like the master volume is all the effects of the game. You want to hit this one and this one 100 for sure. Juggernaut music is not important. And hit marker sound effects. Everybody has it in MW, which is the original from this game that I have right now, but I like the classic. I think it just sounds more pretty, the shots and stuff. Kind of like it more. It's more smooth for me. And then this one is it's kind of important. You don't wanna enable this, because basically it's gonna combine the sound in one speaker instead of dividing it. I have my headset, so I want to hear someone walking from my left to my right, on my right to my left. You don't wanna you don't want to have everything on on one, just everything sounding the same. If you want to recognize where your enemies is coming, you for sure want to have this disabled. Then you have your voice chat, which is not important. Open mic recording, thread call. This is basically if you are in a crowded area where you have kids and they speak very high, and you don't want your stream or anybody playing with you to hear that. If you have a fan and the air is coming in, what you can do is just higher this, and as you can see, there's a darker gray area going up. That's gonna prevent people from hearing the other noises, but at the same time, it's gonna do what it's doing to my voice. If you don't speak very high, what it's gonna do is your voice is not gonna be very high. You're basically gonna have to scream for people to hear it. I have it in 1 just to cancel some of the little noises around here, the dogs or anything like that. You can have it a little higher if you want, but I wouldn't have it too high. If you have any other noises, I would just tell everybody to shut up so you can game, because that's what's up, that's what's good. So that's what I would do. Don't put it too high, but if you do have a lot of little noises, be nice to your teammates, people around you. Just put it higher so they don't have to hear that. Voice chat, I just have those a little bit, just this one 10 higher, but besides that, you can just leave it normal, 100 and 100. I think it's normal. And then this is the same, just not important. Everything else is just account stuff, so you don't really need to see that. But I think that's it. That's all the options for the video. I just wanted to do a quick video about that. I know a friend asked me for that. I know they wanted to see that, and